Alright, good morning guys. Quick little Fleabay edition here. We're only going to look at a couple things today, I think. One of them is we're going to revisit the first thing I see. I looked under Atlas Shapers, and the only thing that's here that interests me, most of this, well, all of this stuff I think we've seen before, but this is an Atlas 7B metal shaper, 110 volt smooth action, $9.99 buy it now. We looked at this one last time. There was only the one picture, and I kind of went over it, but I said I wanted to see some more pictures. Now, see, I had originally said that I thought this was a three-phase machine from looking at the gearbox or the starter box on the front of the table. Maybe that's to a different machine. Maybe, I don't know what the deal is. But anyway, so that may have been my mistake. It may have been listed as that, and this is a pickup only, it looks like. So, the item description: Atlas 7B shaper in great condition. It has been pretty much unused since 1980 in the corner of a manufacturing where the father was a tool maker. We'll upload more pictures in the next few days. However, won't last long at this price. Now, handles are tight. This machine was hardly used. Can't convey that enough. And then it goes on. Now it says 110 volts. I don't believe it said that before, so I think this description has been changed a little bit. So, handles are tight. This machine was hardly used. Can't convey that enough. That's the problem that I have with a lot of these people selling this stuff on Fleabay here, is this is misrepresented. And we'll just look at the big pictures. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time, but there's several things I notice as I do go through these pictures. This machine has had the shit run out of it. Now, observations, and I've gone back and looked at these pictures up close, and I'm not going to do that today. But I will say, and it probably has been sitting in the back of a manufacturing company since the 80s, because at some point in time for production use, the shapers are not a profitable machine to run. They're great for the home shops for light duty stuff and everything, but you can do so much more with so many other machining processes in this day and age that from a production standpoint, these are not a great machine. So anyway, let's look at this. I'm going to say this at some point in time has been rebuilt at least once type of thing. I think this is parts from at least two different machines. And from looking at it, I believe it's probably been sitting in this condition for years and years. Now, it does have all the guards on it, but when we look at the base casting, we look at the color here, we look at the guards are green, both of them match, ram, side door, top, and then the vise. But when you look at the main body casting here, it's a different color. So to me, it's not like that much paint is worn off. It's been changed, and you can see that in the different pictures as we go along. Another one we'll look at is the swivel on the head. That we've got no paint there, and when we look at the top clamp and the handle, why they're a cast iron look, like they've been stripped, and they look pretty clean from looking at them. Now, the top handles, a lot of those I've seen just left unpainted, although usually the center sections are painted up here, but the handles are normally painted to match the ram and the rest of the assembly. So anyway, there's the first picture right off the bat, and we just got grunge and grime all over. Now, if you go back and zoom in on these pictures and look at them close, there's a couple of them that shows, I think, the other rail on the other side, and you see a lot of scarring here. Like I say, I think it's on the other side. This machine's had the crap run out of it, and it's well worn. It's been used and abused. It's been used in a production environment for probably years and years. So it's not pristine. It's not hardly been run. This is not, grandma drove it to church on Sundays. That's bullshit, and it usually is. There's no factory tool holder here, and there's no standard cast iron handle with it. Now, there's a small tool post handle that they're showing on the other side to clamp down the vise, but the actual handle that operates the ram stroke and your vise is not here, and cross slide. So anyway, there's the first picture. Second picture, see, now this box here is what gave me the indication that it was a three-phase machine, and this box may be attached to this bench and not the machine at all. I don't know. But anyway, a lot of grunge on this from sitting, and I get that, but looks like at one time it was probably a yellow, unless this green's just really faded. But, look at the difference in colors here, and on the ram primarily. So nothing really jumps at me there. Now, this vise has got the jaws on it. They protrude above the edge of the vise and everything. That stuff's been changed around over the years. When you really get to looking close, I think that we've probably got shaper marks across the top, you know, running this way, back and forth on both the handles, or both the jaws and on the top of the vise. So machine's been well used and abused. Now we don't see a picture of the serial number, and we don't see a picture of the machine from the back. So we don't really know the condition of the oil tray. We don't know what the motor actually looks like. There's no indication there. And we don't really know what vintage this machine is, although it's a later machine. I can tell by looking at it. Well, I'll say it's a not real early machine. It's you know, later production after they made some changes. And I'll show you that here in just a minute. There again, you look at this side. We don't have any green paint here. You know, look at how shiny this is. Now it's possible these were cleaned up, stripped and cleaned up, but if that's true, then this isn't just as it came out of the corner of the factory pictures we're seeing here, because those look way too nice actually up on top. Here we've got standard grunge and everything. The screws are improper. These are Allen head screws, and the switch plate is upside down. We go on here and see, the reason I say this is a later machine is this is a later style feed mechanism for the cross slide, and this is the handle they give us for adjustment. So there again, look at the difference in colors here on all of this. And we can say maybe just oil soaked, maybe not painted to start with or something, but there's too drastic a color in there. These are parts from at least two different machines. There we can see our switches upside down. There again, if you zoom in and look at these pictures along this rail, you see quite a bit of scarring there. And this machine's beat up, you know. I mean, it's the thing about this machine is it looks to be complete. So for a restoration, this may be a good candidate. Is it worth $1,000? I don't know. I'm going to question that. Look at how bright green and yellow this is. You know, there again, no tool post. I don't know what these labels are. There's a label here and a label here, or tape, packing tape that's been, I don't know. I don't know what's happened there. But there again, look at how there's almost no paint on this. We do on the bolt that assembles the swivel, and maybe there's a little bit there, but that's awful clean looking cast iron to be sitting in the corner of a shop for 30 years. Proper knob there, upside down. Complete machine. It looks to be a complete machine anyway. So I don't know, like I say, we don't have a real good picture of that oil tray. I'd be interested to see that and see the mountings from the back. Anyway, that's the only thing I see under shapers. I see nothing else that really even mildly intrigues me here. Look at the difference in color. This was originally one of the gray or painted gray. One of these pictures, and maybe we've already passed on this top rail, it doesn't have the proper lock. It's just got a set screw on top. Where is it? Looked at it. Gonna have to go back through all of these. There we go. Right there. So, well used and abused machine. It is complete. $1,000. Probably not to me. Okay. That's all I saw under shapers. So let's go and look at mills and see if we see anything there. Oh, milling attachment 349. MSC that we've seen before for 1550. I don't really see. I don't really see anything here. Atlas Craftsman cast iron lathe mill shape leg set, Chips East, U.S. Fastenal, $400 or free local pickup. Let's look at it very quickly. $400 is about what these go for. Yeah, this is from a seller that's been selling forever now. They list these as lathe mill shape leg set. So they're advertising it for all three. This is a set up for a lathe. It's on wheels. Let's just look at the big pictures. I'm not even going to read the description. Standard set of legs. You know, it's got the tops and the legs. The guys are putting casters underneath those. Raises them up a little bit too high for my liking, but that's the way it is. It is going to be original. You know, I'm missing the bolt here. Usually they'll say that they can ship it less expensively without the wood tops and stuff, which is true, but yeah, see, we don't have a good picture of this. This is a set of legs that would have originally been on a lathe, just from looking at the length of it. And looks like maybe this is where the back mount went. There'd be a countershaft and motor mount there. We don't get to see the back side of it. It doesn't, I don't believe. Anyway, $400. That's the going rate. You know, I don't know what the description says here, if it says anything worth looking at. Oh, happy to ship anywhere in the eastern United States to Fastenal delivers. Palletize and deliver it to Fastenal. Shipping is usually pretty cheap, anywhere from $130 up to $280. Oh, it does not come with caster wheels. And this is the guy that's been around dealing in machines. So you're going to spend a minimum, if you're having it shipped, of $530 up to about almost $700 for these legs, and they're not worth that. You know, they're just not worth it. That's all we've got under milling machines that I see. Yeah, most of this is all the same overpriced junk. Overpriced junk. Junk. Yeah, and it's either it's way overpriced or it's the same main castings that they haven't been able to pawn off on anybody. So let's very quickly look at lathes. There again, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time here. I've got other stuff to be doing today. New listing, 10-inch metal lathe, steady rest complete, $245 and free shipping. You know, steady rest should be probably $150 is what these should be in your door, but they're bringing more than that. Is there any description at all? Yeah, the other thing, Atlas 10-inch metal lathe, steady rest complete. I suppose we could leave the big pictures. It does have a make offer on it. Looks to be complete and original. I'm not going to look any closer than big pictures unless something just jumps out at us. I think this is a later model steady rest. I think they had a little more curve to them. These were a little more aesthetically appeasing. Now, is this, well, the top's different from the bottom. Is that a mismatched set, or is that just the way they look? You know what this is, and I may be wrong. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Look at the difference in color between the base and the clamp pad. Go to the next picture. We want to go to the last picture, is what we want to go to. Maybe those are the same color, but why is the top beat so much more than the lower part of the casting? And I'll give you my speculation here in a minute. They do match pretty good, but they are awful beat compared to top. It looks like there's a little bit of difference in color there. What I speculate this is, and somebody could go back and check the numbers, I'm not going to, 050-029 does not look to be an Atlas 10-inch number to me. What I speculate is that is the top off of a 10-inch, and I am wondering if that is a later 12-inch commercial lower part. What, hang on just a second here, let's see if I've got a lathe part list. And I don't, but I do if I dig far enough. But let's look at lathe accessories. Yeah, I'll have to dig out a parts list, but I speculate that I think that's probably for a 12-inch commercial. This is the 10-inch steady rest. And of course this is an early catalog, but look at the difference in the base, and from looking at the length, I think that's probably a 12-inch commercial base is my guess. And I could be wrong, and then they've just put a 10-inch top casting on top of it, because that should, the whole number should be a 10325A, should be the complete number. And that base casting, to be proper for a 10-inch, should have a 10 prefix instead of 050. So that's my speculation. So those are the things you have to watch for. I was going to go look at lathes here, but I don't really see anything that intrigues me that well. There's some stuff there, but nothing I think is really worth watching. So anyway, we'll leave it here. Hopefully you find that a little bit informative. Comments, suggestions, leave in the comment section for me below, guys. And as always, thanks for taking the time to watch.